Hey folks, this is a heartbreaking day. Of course, nothing really happened. I just thought this would be sad to address the downfall of the career of the amazing and formerly gold standard because he's bald now, Shelton Benjamin. I watched his debut. I watched him in the first, and I'm not that old, but obviously, I was there. His debut match on Monday Night Raw, the time when he finally became a singles performer, and he pinned Triple H's debut night on Raw. In the middle of Triple H's reign of terror, he pins him. And that was when I think Chris Benoit was World Heavyweight Champion. But that's besides the point. Of course, I am a fan of Shelton Benjamin. I've been a fan of. You know how many times I wanted to do the BS he did back at the Money in the Bank briefcase ladder matches back then? His somersaults. He always did running sentons involving the ladders. The way he came this close, but he's always there to give a high spot. That toss away heel kick that he always does. Shelton Benjamin was always the funnest guy to watch. He was literally, I don't want to say it, but it sounds like the Kofi Kingston of his era when he always looked like he was always the highlight maker in his matches with that amazing athleticism and like that always swagger that he always had, and it shows that he always had spots to be a main eventer. But some stuff always held him back, like late injuries or probably not much of his character changing, except probably his hair was highlighted. Oh, and that mom thing that they had for him, like I think to 05 to 06 when he was heel for the Intercontinental Championship. But that was besides the point. All I want to say, I'm a fan of now the late great Milt Dud. I'm saying that also because he's bald. And also because he looks rugged, but the only thing notable still is this dumbass tattoo that looked like that was taken, like, of course, like the mid 2000s. Benjamin had like great matches with, of course, the likes of Jericho, Triple H, Randy Orton, Rob Van Dam, John Morrison, Jeff Hardy, MVP, Matt Hardy, R-Truth, Christian, a lot of guys, and has like a tenure in the WWE before, traveling outward to the Indies and shit. And then he came back like 2017 because I was excited because it's like, oh my god, we're gonna have like such a cool veteran that obviously knows the business. He's going to be showing up in legit promos because he's part of the Ruthless Aggression era, and he's actually going to make some of the guys from the mid card feel legit and have like cool matches. He barely has a notable match. His best matches were literally on SmackDown Live when he was tagging with uh Chad Gable. That is impromptu. Jason Jordan 2.0 just has more ring experience, and he's black. We have to make sure he's black. They were also trying to tease Apollo Crews actually having an allegiance with Jason Jordan because they were both jobbing to our Sheamus back earlier of 2020. Then that completely blown over until Apollo literally went to Raw with you know the dismay of the Superstar Shakeup, something they made a legit part of after WrestleMania. I guess they're gonna excuse that as a trade for AJ Styles, but other than that, it's borderline stupid. It sucks too because I loved most of his matches. He always seems to like carry the opponent or at least show that he had some good spots. He's obviously shown that he's a great seller. He had he's literally had notable matches on every brand, even on ECW, like his feuds with Christian and Sheamus. And he's shown he can make anybody feel legit. He only held like the tag titles of this when they were on SmackDown, the U.S. title like twice, and of course he's like a four-time Intercontinental Champion. And it's sad they don't give Shelton Benjamin that much love. Probably it has to do with his character development or whatever the hell they can't do with the mid card at this point because they made a jobber championship strictly for the mid card to actually get a tiny bit more screen time. And most of the guys that held it are either been released, injured, or just not on TV. It's sad because I think It's either Robert Roode or EC3. That was the first 24/7 champion. Carl Anderson and Gallows held it. They're not there anymore. Drake Maverick literally had a storyline involving him holding the 24/7 title before he consummated the marriage. And that went nowhere. Mike Kanellis is also released. Well, Drake Maverick's on NXT, so I don't want to technically count that as an immediate release. I didn't even make a video on that because he was crying like such a bitch, and I felt bad. So that's the equivalency there. Shelton Benjamin haven't even held a championship. The times when he came close, when he kept getting jobbed out by the Usos, and then they had a 2 out of 3 falls match for the SmackDown tag titles on SmackDown, I think, or on pay-per-view. They didn't even get a fall. Wow, that made that team feel pretty good. And and it's sad because it looks like he still keeps some of the moves. Of course, he still keeps the spin kick. He obviously shown that he grown some muscle mass, so it looks like it's going to be easier for him to actually do more heavyweight moves. Thanks, he's a bit older and he can always gain more muscle than he is going to be lean. And it's depressing for such a notable figure from the Ruthless Aggression era that, of course, obviously me remembers because there was, of course, Booker T. But I like Shelton Benjamin more because he was more younger and more athletic, and he was funner to watch. Yes, I love Booker T for essential more reasons because he was more of a centralized main eventer and he was more entertaining. MVP was literally just a Kofi Kingston of the Ruthless Aggression era, even though Kofi Kingston debuted of 2008 or 7. And that's pretty much it. I mean, this is one of my other than the Chad Gable talk, this is more of heartbreaking because you think a guy like that obviously has more of a successful tag team and singles career should obviously be put up to a higher pedestal and at least have a tiny bit more screen time to get some of the guys from the mid card that should obviously. I don't even know what brand is he on. I don't even know if he's technicality a free agent. I think he is, but I think they still make him a Raw superstar. I think I saw him in that gauntlet match for a shot for the United States Championship a couple months back. That's practically it. That's just heartbreaking to me, bro. I obviously want more for many other guys that put here in a veteran or at least in a leadership role in the locker room or some stuff. So that's just heartbreaking to me. That's it from the DSC show. Like, comment, and subscribe.